The JF-17 Thunder, known in China as the FC-1 Xiaolong, meaning Fierce Dragon, is a fourth-generation multi-role developed by China and Pakistan. Informally known online as the JF, the Thunder is a highly capable aircraft in both War Thunder and in real life.
I will be a soldier and I will die for my country.
Yeah, we have soldiers who want to live for the country and die for the country.
As the 1980s came to a close and Pakistan sought to bolster its military in line with its burgeoning nuclear program, the Pakistani Air Force sought a replacement for its rapidly aging fleet of aircraft. The bulk of the Pakistani Air Force consisted of the aging Chengdu F-7, an export variant of the Chinese J-7, itself a derived MiG-21, an airframe from the 50s. Supplementing the J-7 was the Nanchang A-5C, a highly modified MiG-19 specializing in ground strike, and the Dassault Mirage 3 and 5. This fleet of aircraft, either straight from or derived from vehicles that first flew when Eisenhower was president, was however sufficient to match the Indian Air Force in quality. Unfortunately, quality is only one side of the coin, and the significantly larger Indian Air Force had already demonstrated that it was fully capable of dealing crippling blows to the smaller Pakistani air fleet, as had been the case in the 1971 Indo-Pakistan War. Therefore, Pakistan looked abroad to its international partners, and, as emblematic of Cold War politics, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Initially acquiring a limited number of F-16s from the US between 1983 and 87, the dire need for bulk modernization spawned the Super 7 program, known also as the Project Sabre II program. This ultimately short-lived program saw Grumman and Chengdu cooperating with the aim of redesigning the F-7 for service in the Pakistan Air Force. However, the subsequent diplomatic fallout between China and the US in 1989 had the knock-on effect of ending Pakistan's Project Sabre II program, with any attempt to restart the program ending with Grumman's acquisition by Northrop, forcing Pakistan to turn back to China. In 1991, the Fighter China project was launched to replace the gap left by the American departure, with Mikoyan joining in 1995 to provide design support as the Russian economy slowly dragged itself out of the economic turmoil caused by the Soviet Union's implosion. Later in the development cycle, the new aircraft was redesignated the JF-17, JF meaning Joint Fighter, and 17 symbolizing it as a step up from Pakistan's F-16s, being a higher number. The first prototype took flight in late August 2003, equipped with a Klimov RD-93 engine, a variant of the RD-33 used on Mikoyan's MiG-29. The JF-17 was equipped with a KLJ-7 radar, a modern I-band radar capable of simultaneously guiding multiple Fox 3 active radar homing missiles at once. Its multi-role capabilities include the employment of the C-802AK anti-ship missile, greatly increasing the threat posed by the aircraft to enemy shipping, whilst extensive stores pylons allow for air-to-ground munitions of great variety, even including tactical nuclear weaponry. From 2013, the JF-17 was modernized to the Block 2 standard, reducing weight, adding capability for air-to-air refueling, and updating the avionics suite. The Block 2 was short-lived, however, as the Block 3 standard emerged in 2019 with the KLJ-7A AESA radar, IRST, HMD, MORS, an improved HUD, and either an RD-93MA or a Guizhou WS-13 engine. A Block 4 variant is reportedly under development, although little is known about it aside from it having a passive IR scanner and an improved electronic warfare and jamming suite. The JF-17 officially entered service with the PAF in 2009, reaching squadron strength in early 2010 with No. 26 Squadron Black Spiders. Almost immediately, the JF-17 was employed in strikes against the Taliban in 2009, serving as a method for which to test the new fighter's capabilities. The aircraft reportedly revolutionized the PAF's operational tactics, and by 2015, the JF-17 strength had risen to 3 squadrons, No. 26, 16, and 2, the latter of which specialized in anti-shipping strikes. Between 2014 and 2016, during Operation Zarb-e-Azb, the JF-17 was used to carry out strikes against Taliban forces, reportedly inflicting major casualties. In 2017, it scored its only confirmed air-to-air kill, shooting down an Iranian UAV that violated Pakistani airspace. The JF-17 returned the favor in 2024, crossing into Iran and inflicting heavy damage upon terrorist targets across the border, escorted by PAF J-10s. As the long-running conflict with India flared up again in 2025, the JF-17 was publicly shown to the world carrying PL-15Es, one of China's most modern air-to-air missiles. When hostilities broke out, or rather resumed, the JF-17 was deployed as an air-to-air fighter and an air-to-ground attack aircraft, reportedly destroying an Indian S-400, although this claim is denied by India. The JF-17 has seen moderate success in the export market, being operated by Myanmar and Nigeria, the latter of whom has utilized the aircraft in anti-terrorism and counterinsurgency operations. Azerbaijan is set to join the club with an order for 16 airframes placed in February 2024, but the aircraft's recent success in the 2025 conflict saw that order expanded to 40 airframes. Iraq has reportedly placed an order for 12 airframes, and Bangladesh has expressed great interest in acquiring the JF-17 for its own air force.
When I will grow up, I will be army and save Pakistan and destroy India.
Strong army, whoa, great!
The JF-17 arrived in War Thunder in the September 2024 update Dance of Dragons in its Block 1 form as a Rank 8 squadron vehicle. In Air RB, it rests at 13.3, placing it in an interesting spot. While most battles will be up tiers, down tiers are not unheard of, meaning it's capable of facing such aircraft as the F-18A, early F-16s, and even the F-4EJ Kai. One of the main advantages of the JF-17 are the exceptional missiles. The aircraft can carry 6, with PL-5E2s on the outer pylons and either double-mounted PL-5E2s or double-mounted SD-10s on the inner pylons, SD-10s being the export designation for PL-12s. The PL-5E2 is a highly capable IRCCM missile with amazing impulse, perfect for either chasing down fleeing enemies or surprising people in head-ons with a missile that arrives in their cockpit before they even see it launching. The SD-10s, being PL-12s, are very good all-around Fox 3 missiles, with similar in-game performance to the AIM-120A AMRAAM, trading a little range for a bit better pull. The downside to these missiles is the low numbers you can carry, with only 6 missiles at a time, a step from the 8 that has become almost standard at this BR. I personally recommend carrying as many SD-10s as possible, as closing in with the JF is a risky move given your restrictive missile count, lack of HMD, and a mediocre gun, a derivative of the Gush-23 garden hose found on many Russian fighters. Your avionics suite has its ups and downs. The ALR-400 RWR is exceptional, being a digital model that is capable of not only detecting every radar in-game, but also identifying every threat you could face. The KLJ-7 radar, however, is merely a decent pulse Doppler radar for its BR. Certainly nothing outstanding, but not at all inadequate. The main drawback of the radar lies in the HMD. The JF-17 in-game lacks one, given it's a Block 1 variant. This forces you to fire your IR missiles off the nose, and limits the aircraft from being truly outstanding, although probably contributes to its low BR. Another limiting factor is the low countermeasure count, with the aircraft only offering you 64 large caliber countermeasures, which you will have to carefully split between flares and chaff. The airframe is one of the aircraft's strongest points, capable of taking a dogfight with almost every aircraft in-game, with the exceptions of the Eurocanards, the F-16A or AJ, and the F-2. Its main drawback in this regard, however, is its lacking TWR, courtesy of yet another mediocre Russian engine, a familiar trend to viewers by this point. As a result, the JF-17 isn't particularly fast, being unable to reach Mach 2, and has middling acceleration, decreasing your margin for error in a dogfight. Whilst you do have access to spare pylons to which you can mount glide bombs, I don't recommend carrying them as they weigh your airframe down with dead weight that you may not get to use if you are forced low. 13.3 is an uncommon BR only containing the JF-17, the MiG-29 SMT, and the Su-34. Whilst all of these have their advantages and disadvantages, I'm of the opinion that the JF-17 is the best of the three. In Ground RB, the JF-17 sits at a battle rating of 12.3. Much as the case in real life, it's a capable multi-role, although it does get outperformed by other aircraft in various aspects. Arguably, its main strength is its RWR, being able to detect K-band threats such as the Pantsir's tracking radar, something few other RWRs are capable of. It has several CAS options available for it on 4 CAS-capable pylons, all of which we'll take a look at. Firstly are its unique Firesnake 90A rockets. These laser-guided heat rockets can be very capable, especially against light vehicles and SPAA. However, they require an active laser lock to track a target and lack IOG, making them unlikely to hit if the lock is lost. Getting 16 of them per pod, if you have the spawn points, I'd recommend bringing at least one pod in most cases. Secondly are the ample arsenal of laser-guided bombs at your disposal. These include the GB250s, GB500s, and 3 sizes of Paveway 2s. The differing sizes, pylons, and guidance types leave many options to choose from. The GB250s are dual-mode laser and GPS and grab the laser lock from much further away than the Paveways, making them better in most cases. Alternatively, the GBU-12s, the 500-pound Paveways, can be double-mounted on the outer CAS pylons, allowing you to carry up to 6 instead of 4. Another choice is the GBU-10, the 2,000-pound Paveway, which is pretty straightforward, a guided 2,000-pound bomb. You also have the GB500, which is a shame because it sucks. Don't bother with it. Thirdly, you have LS6 GPS-guided glide bombs. These can come as either 250 kilo or 500 kilo variants and are fire and forget, being situationally very useful for hitting targets such as unmoving AA or busy choke points that are full of enemies. An advantage of them is that they can be fired from very far away, with almost unlimited range under the right launch parameters. You can even toss them from behind hills. The final type of weapon in the JF-17's CAS arsenal are your unguided bombs and rockets. These have fairly limited uses, costing for the most part the same as guided weapons. Whilst you do get CCIP, your lower number of pylons means you can't really rack up a wealth of extra kills with these. The exception is your Hydra 70 rockets, but even then, the ability to guide fire snakes renders these redundant. You also have a 23mm cannon. While this does get AP belts, it's still a water hose of a gun and doesn't do enough damage to make it worth focusing on employing. While it's completely up to you as to how to build your loadout, I'd recommend making a few and tailoring them to your situation. If you're dealing with AA, consider some glide bombs. If you're dealing with enemy air, bring some SD-10s. If you want a true all-around loadout, consider something like this.
These are the students who are the future of Pakistan, and they are representing in the world Pakistan.
I love Pakistan. I will sacrifice my life for Pakistan. I love Pakistan.
As the JF-17 can be used to good effect in both air and ground battles, I'll cover them both separately. For air battles, start with flares and chaff, before going for the G-suit, new boosters, and airframe. Next, go for the PL-5E2s, SD-10s, wings repair, and compressor, before grabbing the Mark 82s to get to rank 4. Once you have those, go for engine, cover, and fuselage repair. If you want to use your spare pylons for some extra score, grab the Mark 83s so you can bring the LS500s. After that, grab the offensive 23mm and new 23mm cannons before getting EFS and your ASL pod targeting pod. Finally, finish off spading the Jeff by grabbing the remaining CAS mods in whichever order you'd like. For ground battles, start with the ASL pod, GBU-12s, G-suit, Hydra 70s, and Firesnake 90As. After that, grab the GBU-12s, GB250s, PL-5E2s, and SD-10s. Next, grab the GBU-10s, flares and chaff, Mark 82s, and Mark 83s. Work on some performance by getting the engine, compressor, new boosters, cover, wings repair, airframe, and fuselage repair. With that done, grab the Mark 84, offensive 23mm, new 23mm cannons, and EFS. Finish off with the rather useless GB500s, and you're all set. And that's the JF-17 that we have in War Thunder. It's a really good all-round plane, and in the future I expect we may see later blocks added to the game in one way or another. Regardless, I've enjoyed making this video and I hope you've enjoyed watching it. If you'd like to take part in deciding what my next video will be about, there'll be a vote up in my Discord, link in the description. After all, this video topic was chosen by you all. And that's all from me. I've been girltwink, fly safe.